Sup YouTube, it's Sup TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get daily Pokemon TCG content, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Also, if you like what you see, feel free to leave a like. It helps out the channel ridiculously and only takes 1 tiny second of your time. With that being said, we're going to be talking about some decks that are doing well in the Stellar Crown format. We finally have some data over at play.limitlesstcg.com, so we're going to be taking a look at what kind of archetypes are currently winning these online events. With over 200 players, we will have an indication of which decks are actually pretty strong. So without further ado, let's dive into the first tournament of the day. That's going to be the Late Night 206, where Take from Japan actually was able to win with a Charizard Pidgeot deck. So this is the exact 60 that we're going to be taking a look at. This is a list that is yeah, not too different from the list I actually was playtesting with over on my channel. I did make a video about Charizard, Pidgeot, and with the Dusknoir thrown in there, with, of course, Pidgeot thrown in there, you have a lot of stuff you can do. Candies are really important in this deck, and the only downside for an archetype like this is that TM Devo could actually cripple you, and that's why stuff like the Mist Energy are actually being put into the Charizard deck. What else do we see? Unfair Stamp in combination with stuff like Dusknoir popping is actually a very cool combo, because you do plan to fall behind, and then if the opponent is at a low hand size, you can just pop the Dusknoir, attack the active, and out of nowhere the opponent will be left with almost nothing on their field. So a very straightforward Charizard Pidgeot list is actually winning a very big event like that. Second place was actually Turbo Roaring Moon. I'm a huge fan of Turbo Roaring Moon. It actually got second place at the World Championships, don't forget. And I think in this situation, we do see here that the list is super fine. We see here a refined list with 2 Squawkabilly, the Pheasantipity for draw power if a Pokemon got knocked out, 4 Trekking Shoe, 4 Pokestop, even 2 copies of Pokegear to find those Sawdust, and 4 Pokemon Catchers. So there is a lot to love about Roaring Moon, in my opinion. I think if you just play a very consistent list like this, you might be surprised of how powerful Roaring Moon still is. You also have that Palpat to get back your one-off supporters sometimes, which can be the Iono or the boss, but there's also 2 copies of Judge in here. So lots of supporters for a Roaring Moon list, and it actually is still performing quite well. Second place was that Roaring Moon, and then third place, we're actually going to be checking out a Terapagos EX, Terapagos, whatever it is pronounced, Terapagos EX with Pidgeot actually is being played here with Dusknoir in there as well. So you see a lot of Dusknoir in those top 4 situations. We have the Noctowl that is able to get out any 2 trainer cards from the deck if you have a Terra Pokemon in play. Very easy to do because Terapagos EX is your main attacker. In the late game, you also have Blood Moon, so you can blow up some Dusknoirs and then go on the offensive. The cool thing is that with Bouffalant, your Blood Moon becomes one hell of a tanky fella, not being able to get knocked out quite easily. In combination with stuff like an Iono, could actually win yourself games. You can also reset the attack effect of a Blood Moon through the means of Switch or the Prime Catcher. So I think I really like this list. If you're up against stuff like Mimikyu, you can attack with Fan Rotom. You can also use Dusknoir to blow up on it. So very cool. The Color Resistance tendency is nice to get that Stadium or even the Special Energy if you're looking for that, because there's only 4 copies of the Special Energy in here. So yeah, if you're wondering like, oh no, the opponent's gonna slap down Temple, well, you have so many stadiums out there and very easy way to find them with the means of quick search and of course the Noctowl. And the Briar really is gonna offset some price trade left and right. So I'm very interested to see that Terapagos is actually performing. That's the most thing, the most important thing I take away from that late night. There's even fourth place also playing Terapagos with Dusknoir. What do we see here? The only strange thing about this list is that it is actually coming packed with a Jet Energy. And not only can you reset the attack effect of a Blood Moon, as mentioned, but you're also going to be able to attack with Fan Rotom for the 70 damage. If you start with this, you can start the price trade initially with the Fan Rotom, which is also a very cool thing you could do. So I'm not too, I'm a bit of a fan of that Jet Energy. You can try it out. Some people are also testing out an additional energy. For example, Mist Energy to protect yourself from some spread left and right, but this actually makes sense. Only 3 rare candy in this list though. Okay, then we have a Baxcalibur Chimpow list. So Chimpow, 5th place, funny enough, for the Chimpow. Let's see what they're coming back with. So, Bibarel, 2-2 line, Iron Bundle, Radiant Greninja. This is stuff we've seen before. 1 Night Stretcher in there as well. 9 energy seems to be sufficient. Definitely with the 2 Super Rod. 4 energy retrieval, Night Scratcher. So no Boss's Orders or Counter Catcher in here because you do plan on using the Iron Bundle. But Chien-Pao, funny enough, actually is performing. Moving forward, another Zard list. Let's see what is different about this Zard list. Okay, there's a ton of stuff in there, to be honest. Dusknoir, there's the Cleffa that they opted to go for. There is Torton, but we did see that before. So also the Hisuian Heavy Ball, you don't see that every day. And the DTE as going to be a way you can attack with Radiant Zard a little bit earlier, or sometimes attack with the Pidgeot EX. So Charizard doing Charizard stuff. And if you want to be seeing that complete list, we do here come back with Collapse, Fire Energies, DTEs, and then going all the way back up, we do have these. If you want to see the exact 60s, you can head over to play.limitlesstcg.com and check them out. Raging Bolt, 7th place. Playing the Slitherwing. This Slitherwing is actually pretty interesting because it's going to be able to slap 120. You do damage yourself, but sometimes can also discard the top card of the opponent's deck. Can also become hilarious. The Briar is in here, so Teal Mask Ogerpon can actually take additional prize cards if you are seeing that the opponent is at exactly 2 prize cards remaining. So Raging Ball was overhyped over in Japan. Seems to be slowing down a little bit over here in the West. We do see here a Miraidon deck. The Miraidon is actually playing the Area Zero Underdepth Stadium card and that Mewtwo EX, which is the Terra Pokemon of choice. So you can go really wide on your board. Also Cassiopeia, if I pronounce it correctly, being able to only be played if it's the only card in hand, getting out any 2 cards you want. So you just try to make sure your hand is empty with the means of Ultra Ball, a lot of like insta-playable cards, Switch card, Rescue Board, Secret Box also really helping out with that. So a very cool way to be playing Miraidon. I'll be testing that out on the channel soon, so you'll see more of that. Okay, that's the top 8 there. Okay, moving forward, we're going to be checking out another tournament here. It's going to be the Late Night 205. But before we do that, let's check out the Team Rocket League Day 134 because that also has some interesting stats. It does come back with 79 players. And yeah, we do see here that Terapagos also got into that top 8, 6th place. This is just yeah, a tournament without deck list, so we don't have a little bit of idea. But Lugia doing well, Charizard, Dracopult, and Raging Bolt, like these are like the tier S decks that people claim. Gardevoir coming back in the format as well. And Lugia still sticking around. Terapagos, pretty interesting. It's still in a testing phase right there. So Late Night 205. Let's see what happened here. So a bunch of Snorlax block, being able to pull it off and take away the dub here. Let's check it out. Okay, Snorlax block. What can we say about Snorlax block that hasn't been said already? It's a deck that not a lot of people will love to be playing against. You just wait until the opponent no longer has switch outs, and Snorlax block is going to be the main win condition. You also have Cornerstone, and with that being said, the Cornerstone also wins yourself the Charizard matchup if you play correctly. The Mist Energy on the Mimikyu can easily win yourself the Regidrago VSTAR matchup, because that means they cannot like use Mew EX to copy paste, and they most likely only have 1 Cologne that they might get back. So if you have an army of Mimikyu, you just win. There's also the Blood Moon, so sometimes you can use those Mist Energies as well to just swoop away with the Blood Moon. Definitely with the help of Hero Escape, that becomes really tanky. We have the disruptive cards as always. We have Misfortune Sisters, discarding items from the top deck of the opponent. Looking at the top 5 cards, there is the Eerie, discarding item cards from the opponent's hand. There's Team Yell's Cheer to get back all your resources. There's Erica's Invitation to, of course, have that Gust capability. If the opponent has a basic in hand, you can instantly get it to the active position. And then the Zero Sick, allowing you to trim the opponent's hand. The opponent needs to discard cards until they have 3 cards remaining. So tons and tons of yeah, disruptive cards in combination with win conditions, like the opponent cannot touch Mimikyu, sometimes the opponent cannot touch Cornerstone Ogerpon, and then Snorlax will force the opponent to just try to find switch outs. And if they don't, and if you discard them early on with Misfortune Sister or Eerie, you win the game. If you want to win against Snorlax block, something like a Turo and a Palpad might be a good idea. Okay. Very scary indeed. 2nd place, it was Snorlax again. So a Snorlax mirror match. How did that even go, to be honest? Because I see both of them not playing the Chiyu EX to mill. So it's gonna be, yeah, one hell of a battle, that one, the final. So in this particular list, the accompanying flute is something that we see that in the other list as well. Yeah, only 3 copies, but in this list they actually opted to go for 4 copies. And the handheld fans are also more prevalent as an additional one in this list. Very annoying if the opponent attacks you. You can put a basic energy from the attacking Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Attack is any energy, right? It doesn't have to be a basic energy, just an energy card that you can swap over if they attack you. Charizard, third place, and let's see what they are coming back with. A very streamlined list, nothing to say here. The Torton seems to be a little bit more of a mainstay, but also these lists are very greedy because they're not playing Manaphy. I don't know if the other list didn't play Manaphy, but some lists are being greedy and not playing Manaphy. There is a Gardevoir EX list, very streamlined as well. They do come back with the one enhanced hammer for the Lugia matchup and a TM Devo for the Charizard matchup, so a little bit teched out, but they do opt to go for the 2 copies of the TM Evo to make sure you can get that swift start when going second. A Fluttermane also yeah, very good in this format, I would say. Alright, then moving forward, a Palkia list getting 5th place, so we're only checking out the top 8 of these tournaments. So Palkia with 1 copy of the Terapagos. We have the Wellspring Ogerpon as well, so that will activate our Zero Area Underdepth Stadium card. Maximum belt for the Palkia as well, so maximum damage output can become quite ridiculous. If we're taking a look at the damage output that could happen, to be honest, is like if you have a full bench size, that's 160, but because of the Area Zero Underdepth, that could become 220. And then for every bench Pokemon the opponent has, it only stacks up more damage. Let's say the opponent has 3 bench Pokemon, you're all the way to 280 already, with the maximum belt being able to hit 330. So yeah, Palkia VSTAR can become quite a scary deck. And also something I really want to be testing out on the channel here, the updated Palkia list with Noctowl instead of the Dust Noirs. Alright, continuing on, another Zard getting 6th place. All these lists are looking a little bit similar. This one is playing Mist Energy for the TM Devo protection. Sometimes can work against Dracopult for some spread defense as well. Playing a Lost Vacuum and playing the Entei. The Entei also an additional target for Forest Sealstone. But yeah, it's actually a pretty cool inclusion as it needs not a lot of energies to start swinging. And also comes back with the Fleet-Footed. Okay, then Lugia, 7th place. Let's see what this Lugia list is rocking with. Lugia with an Iron Bundle with a Pheasantipity. So Pheasantipity will allow you to just draw more cards to maybe get the combo, the Chinchino, whatever. The Iron Bundle is something I really like in Lugia, but I couldn't find the room for it. 3 copies of Great Ball is nice. No jamming towers in here, just went for all consistency cards. And then a Roseanne's backup to just get back a Pokemon or even the Legacy Energy to reuse stuff like the Iron Hands. Okay, 4 copies of Lugia V as well. And then Gardevoir getting 8th place. Let's see this Guardy list. Yeah, very similar this time around. They didn't go for the enhanced hammer. They went for the 2nd copy of TM Devo. In a format like this, is it better? Charizard is still one of the harder matchups for Gardevoir because of Dusknoir and Vacuum, so it does make sense. Alright, continuing on, after we go away from that late night 205, let's continue on to another bigger tournament, the Challenge of Doom tournament. Let's see which deck was able to win right there. So now we actually have data. If you want, you can, of course, check out the website and, yeah, of course, get some knowledge on these deck lists. So Snorlax Block doing it again. It seems like the 2 copies of Cornerstone are a mainstay in this Snorlax Block deck, and the Mimikyu as well. So yeah, streamlined list. This is going to be the 60 that most Snorlax Block decks will play, so definitely test against it. If you don't have an answer for Snorlax Block, it's going to be pretty scary. Now, we have Iron Torrents, 2nd place. Iron Torrents won the World Championships, but then vanished without a trace, just like the Avatar. And yeah, we haven't seen any successful Iron Torrents results quite yet. But this 2nd place, I think it's almost exactly like the World 60, if I'm not mistaken, with the 4 Pokemon catcher, with the Prime catcher. I think this is almost the exact World 60, if not the exact 60. So, Iron Torrents, what can we say? We slow down the entire format. Charizard cannot use Infernal Rain. Rotom cannot insta-charge. Lumineon cannot do anything. Summoning Star, forget about it. Regidrago V-Star, Teal Dance, all that stuff, it's all shut down. Radiant Greninja, forget about it. So Iron Torrents pretty much shuts down the entire format. And that's how it is able to win games. So Quad Iron Torrents, also a very nasty deck to be up against. There is going to be a Palkia in 3rd place. That Palkia list is something we've seen. Something we still need to test out, it is going to be going wide on the board. Instead of going for maximum belt, they went for Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher and Cologne, love the combo already. Okay, then 4th place was also a Palkia there, and that Palkia was very similar to the one we've seen. So I think, what is the difference between these two lists? I think it was not a lot, if we're taking a look at it. The Terapagos, no, it's almost the exact 60 to be honest. Yeah, Manaphy, also Manaphy in there. It seems like almost, yeah, the Hisuian Heavy Ball was there. Okay, that was like the only difference I saw at first glance. There's Regidrago VSTAR falling down from the throne, being the tier S deck in the Shrouded Fable Worlds format, has dropped down a tier, but it's still a strong deck, and not a lot has changed for the deck. Still the same cards. I think Cleffa could be a great must if format is very aggressive like that. On the other hand, 30 HP could get yourself punished in stuff like Dusclops situations, Monkey Dory situations. So, but the deck is still strong because you have the versatility of using Kyurem, Dragapult EX, and Giratina V-Star, all powerful attacks. And then 6th place is a very unique Noivern Cornerstone Ogerpon deck. And it's a list playing Gutsy Pickaxe and yeah, some Lost Cities and Heroescape. So 4 copies of Tracking Shoe, 4 copies of Pokegear. You just try to set up cornerstones and win games. That's pretty much it. If you're up against a big basic deck like a Raging Bolt, you set up the Noivern right there. So that's pretty much the deck. Also a deck that I really wanted to test out on the channel. Haven't gotten the opportunity quite yet. Then there's a Charizard list again. These Charizard lists do not differentiate too much here, but this one is playing the Great Tree. The Great Tree allowing you to evolve instantly into the stage 2, but the Pokemon needs to be in play for at least a turn. So that can get yourself Dusknoir out of nowhere, Pidgeot out of nowhere, all the good stuff. So yeah, the Great Tree version of Charizard EX. And then 8th place was for a Goldango, believe it or not. Look at that, Goldango with Palkia, with the Letter of Encouragement, Hyper Aroma. So also all cards that we've seen before. And also you should know is that there's not a single copy of a card from the Stellar Crown in this Goldango list. Okay, that was also a pretty interesting situation. Then we have some smaller tournaments. Not gonna check those out. We have the Monkey Cosmic Tournament with 52. It's not the biggest one, so I'm only gonna be checking out that top 4 in that situation. Let's check it out. We have a Zard, a Regidrago V-Star, another Zard, and then a mystery deck. Okay, let's check out the Zards first. The Zard playing the Robska and the TM Evo, so a little bit based on Tord Reckless 60. Robska protecting yourself from spread. I don't know if it's necessary in this upcoming format, however. Then there is this Charizard Pit, is the same, I'm sorry. We have the Regidrago V-Star playing the Goodra and a Collapse Stadium to get rid of your Squawkabilly. Could be interesting for sure, or if you happen to start with something like the Kyurem, plays your bench full completely, use Prime Catcher or Switch and then collapse it away. There's also a way you can get that in the discard pile. And there is that mystery deck. I wonder what it is, to be honest. It is going to be a mixture between Roaring Moon and Gouging Fire, Binder Drop, so also coming back with Genesect out of nowhere, shutting down Prime, actually not Prime, Ace-Pack cards from being played, so stuff like Prime Catcher, Unfair Stamp, etc. This is very strange. I would just simply go for max consistency, but they flip-flop between like Gouging Fire as well as Roaring Moon, so I don't know what happens here. Not a big fan of that list, but it was able to do successful stuff. Okay, just a little shout out to this random Venomoth Frostlass that did reasonably well. Also a deck I have not checked out yet on the channel. Tons of stadiums in this list, by the way, but we'll have to figure out some decks. So I have a little bit of an idea of which archetypes I'm still going to be showcasing on the channel. There is another tournament, the free entry Deck Out Mondays, and it was actually won by Miraidon, funny enough. Miraidon is still playing that Mewtwo, so Mewtwo EX allowing you to increase your bench with the Area Zero Underdepth, and this actually can just go wide because you can go Tandem Unit, Miraidon Raikou, Tandem Unit, Mewtwo EX, and then something else. So you can go really wide on your board with this Area Zero Underdepth. Can also slap down Zapdos, Mew EX, Lumineon. You don't longer have the bench problem with Miraidon, and I was able to get first place. Regidrago V-Star. Same stuff we've seen before. Radiant Zard and is a mainstay in the Regidrago, definitely with a lot of these aggressive decks. Then a very unique Aegislash deck. This Aegislash deck is definitely something I want to try on the channel as well. Aegislash has the same ability like Mimikyu, but does come packed with 150 HP, so you are a tanky fella. Combine that with something like a Luxurious Cape, and out of nowhere you have a 250 Pokemon that is not being able to get touched by stuff like V's and EX Pokemon. Also 1 copy of the Cornerstone in there, so it's a little bit walling archetype, but with a funky list like this, and the Grade 3 Ace Pack card shown in the list as well. I'm very curious to see if we will see some more success with this funky Aegislash deck. Raging Bolt, ladies and gentlemen, is also part of the successful top 4 there, and this list is actually not playing a lot of crazy new cards. Instead, just 1 copy of Briar, and it's actually the same 60 I tested out on the channel before. It is very good, and comes back with the Sandy Shocks to deal with Mimikyus, and you even have Nice Stretch to get them back. There is a Terapagos EX Pidgeot EX line. Actually, deck as something we've seen before as well. Comes back with Dusknoir, comes back with the Pidgeot line, has of course Prime Catcher as the one, and then the Jet Energy. Jet Energy is a very cool combo to just pull off with Fan Rotom and the Blood Moon out of nowhere, so I like it a lot. Then there is Dragapult EX, seems to be falling out of grace. In Japan it was doing incredibly well, but now has been fallen out of the wayside. But it's also some of the similar 60s I've been testing on the channel. So Dragapult EX became better because we gain Sparkling Crystal and Crispin and Briar as well on this list. So a lot of new cards from Stellar Crown. The Phantom Dive has never been scarier because you can pull it off with just 1 attachment. Because of the high amount of Arven, you can get yourself the Sparkling Crystal or the Forest Seal Stone to activate onto Rotom V to get yourself the Pokemon you want. So Dragapult, will it do well at the Dortmund Regionals next weekend? We will have to figure that out. So yeah, there's also a Gardevoir list that got 7. So Gardevoir has been performing okay-ish, but not like crazy outstanding performances. Yeah, not a lot has changed. They are just grabbing towards like the, I would say, I'm calling this something like the NAIC Guardy list, right? Something like that, because Guardy at that point was really hyped and powerful. And then it fell out of grace with the popularity of Regidrago VSTAR, and now it's seemingly back. Then the last one, another Dragapult with Pidgeot. Let's check it out. What do we see here? Collapse Stadium, no Temple, no Enhanced Hammer. They are playing the TM Evo and the Pidgeotto, so that means they can, if they go second, at least establish quite the board position. Okay, the most interesting deck for me was that Aegislash deck, really, I'm not gonna lie, that was actually super cool. Then we have Sunny's weekly number 170, where, yeah, you've guessed it, Snorlax Block has been tearing it up over in the online scene. And for good reason. Not a lot of decks are playing like a lot of amount of switch cards, so there's that. So let's check it out. Snorlax Block with yeah, still Cornerstone, Hand Fan, the same stuff. We've already talked about this list. Iron Torrents. Let's see what the Iron Torrents comes back with. Is it different? It looks, yeah, they are playing the Unfair stamp over the Prime Catcher. And 2 copies of Lost Vacuum. Lost Vacuum seems to be a nice way to get rid of not only Stadium cards, but also the powerful tool cards that are flying left and right. There's a Charizard again. With no TM Evo, it's just going to be the classic one. But they are playing Cleffa and a Briar. Very cool. I love the Briar and Charizard. It's doing incredibly well. Okay, some Guardies are okay. Then a Charizard again, another, yeah, let's check out this one. Spidops got 6 and 1, got 5th place. Let's check it out. What is this all about? So this Spidops deck wants to just make sure that the opponent has a higher retreat cost. With the Gravity Stone and the Calamitous Wasteland, you can now turn yourself into quite the stalling deck that sometimes can attack. Is that better than just playing Snorlax Block? No way. It's way worse. I would not go with a list like this if you can be playing stuff like, for example, the Snorlax Block. It can attack. I know. You can trap something, slap it, then slap it again and win prize trade, I suppose. But you're better off playing Snorlax Block, in my opinion. Alright, let's see. Are there more tournaments that we need to take a look at? The standard Pumpka... yeah. Pumpka Weekly, let's see, Charizard was able to win and Control at the 2nd place. So Charizard, stuff we've seen before. Whoa, this is not stuff we've seen before. This is Charizard Control. yeah, if people were wondering what Charizard Control is, Charizard Control aims to just power stuff up with the Charizard and start swinging. You can sometimes attack with Cornerstone through the means of Legacy Energy. Same goes for Wellspring Ogre Pump, but you can also use that to sup people. And yeah, there is some pennies in here. So it is Charizard Control, ladies and gentlemen. Also a really hard deck to be playing. The Eerie seems to be powerful in this format as well, so you can discard some rare candies. Luxray with the Fang Snipe, with the Eerie. Yeah, Charizard Control, funny enough, got 2nd place. And then 3rd place was Lugia VSTAR Classic 60. Instead of going for, yeah, this is actually Rahul 60, I would say, with the Raikou thrown in there, with the Nest Balls, and then having access to Squawkabilly. Just being able to play the game time and time again is what this list aims to do. Okay, what else? Regidraco V-Star. Anything spicy in this list? There's the... No, not really. Not a lot of spice for Regidraco. Regidraco is not going to change all that much. This Miraidon list maybe is playing the... Yeah, the Area Zero Underdepth seems to be the preferred way. Raichu is back from the get-go. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Raichu from the... Was it Brilliant Star set? It's almost rotating, so make good use of Raichu while you can. But now you can fill up tons and tons of Pokemon on your bench because you have... Your options are endless. And if they... bump the stadium, you can discard all your bench sitters right there. Classic Dracopult EX with Xatu? Why would you still play Xatu when you have options like Sparkling Crystal? Is Unfair Stamp that way better in this list? I doubt it. So Dracopult also not performing as I thought it would perform. And then also checking out this Roaring Moon list, very similar to this World 60, the runner-up 60 from the World Championships. Okay, Happy's Poke League. Let's see what this is. Okay, what do we see? Dracopult winning. That's with the Sparkling Crystal combo, and 2 copies of Pokemon League Headquarters, really helping out against Raging Bolt. It's #1 enemy, I suppose, for this list. Raging Bolt itself. So yeah, Dracopult being able to win against Raging Bolt is, yeah, that's why it got first, because of those Pokemon League Headquarters, making sure this guy actually needs 3 energies to attack, and you can only Sada and attach to it once, meaning that sometimes you cannot even use Bellowing Thunder, which is totally awesome for the Dracopult lovers out there. Charizard list doing fine, stuff we've seen before, but they are playing Sparkly Crystal, okay? The Ace Pack card for Charizard, which one is better? Prime Catcher, Unfair Stamp, Hero Escape, Sparkling Crystal, you name it. There's a lot of options for Ace Packs in Charizard, and the choice is up to you. Also the Kieran here, allowing you to stab that additional 30 damage or switch out. With Kieran and Professor Turo, you actually have a fighting chance up against Snorlax block decks. Okay, Roaring Moon again. Only 1 Patcherand in there. And 4 copies of the Ancient Energy Boost Capsule. Alright, so... It is focusing more on the Baby Roaring Moon, by the way, this list. But it's Baby Roaring Moon and then 2 Roaring Moon EX, a lot of dark patches, and it's a little bit of a hybrid. It wants to be Ancient Box. Where's Ancient Box, by the way? Because of the introduction of Briar, it actually got slapped down all the way down to the wayside. Nobody's playing it anymore. This is just playing Town Store, and 1 copy of the Iron Thorns to shut stuff down. 2 copies of Raikou V as well. 2 copies of the Forest Sealstone, but no Area Zero Underdepth in this 60. Another Charizard, I'm going to take a look at that. Let's check out this one. Okay, this is going to be Terapagos with Radiant, Serena, and Penny. This is something similar I tested out on the channel before. So if you want to see this in action, be sure to check that out. And you're going to be learning a lot about Terapagos. So yeah, what can we take away from all these tournaments from the very first week of the very first week of Stellar Crown is, in my opinion, Miraidon is performing better than I anticipated. Dracopult is performing worse than anticipated. Raging Bolt also a little bit less popular than over in Japan, where it was dominating almost every single city league. I would say Charizard is almost everywhere, so that's the deck to beat in my opinion. Lugia also dropped down in popularity since the introduction of Briar. Controllers around left and right, and people are innovating with lists and stuff like Aegislash and stuff. So I'm very excited for the future of the Stellar Crown format. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in ridiculous ways. You have no idea. And let me know in the comments what your favorite deck list was that you saw today. For me personally, it's the Aegislash deck, and I really want to be checking it out. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and also go check out the sponsors that make the videos possible. DragonShield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. Use that coupon ZABLOS5 to get 5% off your order. There's TC Evolutions. If you want to have your customized, actually the unique damage counters, VSTAR tokens, ability tokens, you name it, go head over to TC Evolutions and use the coupon ZABLOSTCG for 10% off. PokemonStore.com for TCG Live code card needs. You can get 5% off using the coupon ZABLOSTCG. They have Stellar Crown up on stock, so if you want to pimp out or max out your account, that's possible. There's CARDMARKET.com, lastly, with, European. It's a European website where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Definitely check it out if you are planning to sell or buy cards if you're a European. Use the referral name ZABLOSTCG to help support the channel. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG madness. Peace.